I need to travel to places in these states in about this amount of time before winter comes and freezes me to death. But if I tried to calculate the shortest possible route by hand, I would end up with this many possible paths to take. So because this is extremely difficult and I'm very lazy, I just got AI to do it for me. Hi, I'm Thomas. I didn't want to go to school this year, so I ditched Rice University, converted my mom's minivan into a tiny home, and now I'm planning my solo van life trip across America starting next week. And all this planning has been so difficult, so I thought, why not make my computer do all the work for me? This is that story. Let's begin. Here are some things you need to know. I need to be back home by Thanksgiving or I'll literally freeze my poorly insulated van, which gives me about 8 weeks to do my travels. I want to go to these places, but I can only go to these because of COVID. I want to travel north first so I don't get cold up there later. Also note that I wanted to go to at least one location in each state that I could visit, but when I looked at North Dakota there was nothing to do, so I decided to go to a random pho restaurant. This optimization problem for finding the optimal route through a given list of cities is so difficult. There's a $1 million prize out there for the person who solves it. It's part of what they call the Millennium Problems. And the reason why this problem is so difficult is the pure amount of time it takes to find the most optimal path given all the possibilities. So because I'm no revolutionary CS genius, we're just going to find the most optimal solution that our AI can find. Now I don't want to bore you with this explanation, so here's the timer, let's begin. We are going to use an algorithm to mimic natural evolution, but instead of having organisms that evolve, we will have a solution of routes for my van life trip that will get shorter. So like natural evolution, we will have many generations where the organisms in each generation will be more fit, or in our case, have more optimal solutions than the previous generation. There will be 500 organisms per generation, where each organism is a possible route for my van life trip. At the end of each generation, we will take the 10% of the shortest van life trips and let them reproduce to create the next generation of 500 solutions. As our AI learns which trips will be shorter, our routes will get better until X generations later we will have our optimal van life trip. Oh, and to make things more spicy, we're going to let some of our routes mutate and change randomly, adding some of that spicy variability to our solutions. You know, I may sound all confident when explaining what genetic algorithms do, but I've never actually programmed one before. So here's a montage of me wishing I was a psych major instead of a CS major. Alright, so it's currently 3:52 in the morning. I'll finish the rest of this tomorrow.
Three weeks later.
Hello everyone, it has been a very long time. As you can probably see, I'm not in my home anymore. I'm actually in a place called Turner Falls in Oklahoma, and it's a really beautiful place. But hey, guess what? We're finished. So after a couple days of frustration, our genetic algorithm finally works. Now with the help of 5,000 generations of evolving, our AI is able to come up with the most optimal route for my van life trip. We're gonna make our way straight all the way up north, just like I wanted to, just because it gets cold very quickly, so that was very helpful. Now we zigzag our way to the west all the way until Seattle, then we make our way down on the most beautiful highway in the US along the coastline of California, and then we make it all the way back home. For the most part, I'm really happy with how this AI performed. Now there are still some things that may alter the path that I'll eventually take, and these things include like fire, snow, because you know, as someone who's never lived in the north, I really don't know how to drive in the snow, and next to really cold weather is really important, as I said before at the beginning of this video, because my van really doesn't have the insulation to be able to prevent me from completely freezing to death. And lastly, just spontaneity. Like, if there's anything cool that I notice along the road, I'll definitely just stop by and we'll just see what comes up along the way. And with that, I'd like to introduce the main point of this video. So because I am in the Turner Falls in Oklahoma, you probably hear the water in the background, as you can see. That's this wonderful lake right here at the moment. I actually have a friend who's from here, and he recommended me to get these fried pies. So I got chicken, vegetable, and pumpkin. So dessert comes first. Let's try pumpkin. They fried this up right on the spot. You know, it took a couple minutes, but fresh out of the fryer. I'll see that. You got the all natural pumpkin in there. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. This really is the life. Just be introduced to food that I've never tried before, next to a beautiful river during sunset. Definitely don't have any complaints about this. This definitely is a huge turn of events for this video, but I definitely don't regret it. And if you ever make your way to Davis, Oklahoma, try out these fried pies, man. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Down south, hood baby, make all the girls go crazy, go crazy.
Go stupid. You smart like an A+ student.